I am 78 years old, and there is something I need to tell you. No human being is free. And the worst part? People realize it at my age, when there is no chance to turn back. I spent a large part of my life probably believing things that you faithfully believe today. But there came a moment I will never forget, the day my wife passed away. Besides all the pain, another feeling emerged within me. But before I start, let me tell you something. I am not making this video to boost my ego or to get views. At my age, I don't care about that. I am doing it because time is passing, and you need to know this. When I was younger, I didn't know how to say no. I was always trying to be the perfect son, the perfect husband, the perfect father. I thought that's what life was all about. I believed that being selfless and putting others' needs before mine was the noble thing to do. But as the years passed, I began to lose myself. With every passing year, I gave up a little more of who I was, thinking that if I just kept giving, everything would be fine. I used to tell myself that later would be my time. Later, when the kids are grown, I'd focus on myself. Later, when my wife retires, I'd start living my life. But guess what? That later never comes. It's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the uncomfortable truth. Time is running out. We're always waiting for the right moment, but that moment never arrives. We keep putting things off, thinking that one day we'll have time for ourselves. But it's never enough. Then, at 71, my wife passed away. That was the moment I truly realized how much of myself I had lost. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had spent my whole life being someone's husband, someone's father, someone's caretaker. But when the roles I had played for so long suddenly disappeared, I was left staring at a stranger in the mirror. I had lost the most important relationship I had, the one with myself. The guilt of focusing on myself felt foreign at first. For years, I thought that to be a good man, I had to give everything to others, to meet their needs, to keep saying yes. I never once considered that no was a powerful word. Now I know that I had sacrificed my own happiness, my own peace of mind, in the name of pleasing everyone around me. After my wife passed, I was left alone in silence. It was overwhelming at first. I had always been surrounded by people, my children, my wife, friends, family. There was always something to do, someone to care for. But suddenly there was nothing, and no one. Just me, alone with my thoughts. At first, I didn't know how to cope with the silence. It was deafening. I would try to fill it by keeping busy, taking walks, watching TV, or doing chores around the house, but none of it worked. In the quiet, I was forced to confront a terrifying question. Who was I, really? Who was I without the labels I had worn for so many years? And more importantly, what did I want for myself? I had spent so much time living for others that I didn't know how to live for myself. I had buried my own passions, my own dreams, under the weight of responsibility. All those years of focusing on my family's needs had left me with nothing but a feeling of emptiness. I thought I had time to figure it all out later, but the truth was, I had lost so much time. I'll tell you something now. Life is not about being perfect. It's not about being everything to everyone. It's about being true to yourself. But this isn't something you realize when you're 78. I wish I had figured it out much earlier. After my wife passed away, I knew I had to make a change. I went back to school, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the time for. I took classes in literature, art, and philosophy. I started traveling to places I had always dreamed of seeing. I even learned to say no to things that didn't serve me, things that drained me. And you know what happened? The world didn't end. People didn't stop loving me. In fact, I think they respected me more for it. But it wasn't easy. It was a long process. It took time to shed the guilt that came with saying no to my children, to my friends, to my family. For most of my life, I had been taught that self-sacrifice was the key to being a good person. But that's a lie. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't take care of yourself, you have nothing left to give. In the beginning, it felt like I was betraying my own nature. The guilt was almost unbearable at times, especially when I had to say no to my children, who were used to me always being there, always willing to help. I had spent decades thinking that being selfless was the highest form of love. And now, here I was, saying no to those who I thought I should be doing everything for. But as I went through this process, I began to see something I hadn't before. By taking care of myself, I was actually becoming a better version of myself. I was learning to be the person I wanted to be, not just the person others expected me to be. For years, I had been running on autopilot, doing things because I thought I had to, not because I wanted to. But after losing my wife, I realized I had to stop living for everyone else. I needed to start living for myself, to make decisions that reflected my own desires, my own dreams. It was hard at first, but I slowly started to embrace the idea that it wasn't selfish to put myself first. It was necessary. By allowing myself to pursue what truly mattered to me, I was able to give others more of my energy and love. But it was the energy I had chosen to give, not the energy I had been drained of. You may not realize it yet, but the thing that's holding you back from living your best life is your inability to say no. You think you're being selfish when you prioritize yourself, but you're not. You're protecting your peace, your happiness, and your future. And if you don't learn to say no now, you'll be stuck in the same cycle I was in, always putting everyone else first until you have nothing left to give. I had to learn this the hard way. Once I started saying no, I realized how much space it created for the things I truly wanted to do. Saying no to the things that drained me opened up time for the things that filled me with joy. I began to reclaim parts of myself I had lost along the way. And while it was uncomfortable at first, it turned out to be the most freeing thing I've ever done. In the beginning, saying no felt like a betrayal, not only to others but to myself. I was so used to being the person who was always available, always saying yes to everything, that turning people down made me feel guilty. But slowly, I came to realize that I wasn't betraying anyone by choosing myself. I was being honest. I was respecting my boundaries and protecting my well-being. And once I started doing this, I realized just how much more I had to offer. When I allowed myself to rest, to focus on my passions, I found I was far more present, far more energetic, and more capable of truly helping others when they needed me. This new approach didn't just affect me. It affected my relationships, too. When I began to set boundaries, I noticed that people started to respect me more. They saw me as someone who wasn't afraid to take care of himself, and I think in some ways that made them trust me more. It's a strange thing to realize, but sometimes by saying no, we end up strengthening our connections with others. We show them that we value ourselves, and in turn, they begin to value us more too. At 78, I'm finally living the life I wanted. but it's bittersweet. I wish I had figured it out much earlier. I wish I hadn't spent so many years trying to please everyone else, trying to meet expectations that were never mine to fulfill. But I can't go back. The only thing I can do now is share my story with you, in hopes that you don't make the same mistake I did. It's not too late for you. You can still change. You can still live for yourself. Don't wait until you're my age to realize that you've been living for everyone else. Don't wait until it's too late to live your own life. Start now. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It moves forward whether you're ready or not. But you have the power to decide how you spend it. You have the power to live a life that's true to you. And you can start right now. In many ways, I've finally learned how to live in the present, not constantly worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. I spent too many years putting off my happiness, thinking there would always be more time. But now, I realize that the only moment we truly have is the one we're living in right now. That's something I can't get back, and neither can you. The choice is yours, just as it was mine. Will you spend your days chasing after approval and validation from others? Or will you take control of your life and live for yourself? The journey to self-fulfillment is difficult, but it's the only one worth taking. I've learned that now, and I hope you learn it before it's too late. If this video has moved you, share it. You might change someone's life. Subscribe to keep seeing my advice, and I'll see you next time.